Hey, it's Dallas Wayne here, back with another morning coffee rant. And this time I'm going to set some things straight on how the world is really not as bad as you think, okay? You know, I think the people that go around saying things like, oh, the world is frigged, like, everything's gone to hell, like, oh, who would want to bring a child into this horrible world? These are mostly the people that have never gone outside, or for that matter, they've at least never left their own country, and maybe never even left their own hometown. Because you'll see that no matter where you go in the world, people are people. And most people don't want bad things. Most people want nothing more than to prosper, enjoy their life, set up a positive future for themselves and their family. Humans are all humans. We all want the same things. And, especially when it comes to going other countries, people are having their perceptions largely skewed by media. And there's only, take it this way, there's truth always, insofar as bad things are happening, indeed. But in different countries, if there's a war going on, you don't want to go there. Fair enough. But even if you were to go there, you would still find that most people are still doing their thing, trying to get by, trying to live their life. And most people are going to treat you fairly. People spend too much time reading the news and being on social media and having certain ideas about what things are like, and instead of just going out and seeing it for themselves. Like, for example, I'm in Lima right now, and one of my first days here, I was roaming around what is to be considered essentially the most dangerous part of the city. I'm not saying that that's advisable, and I'm not trying to push my luck either by doing that, but I just happened to be in that area, and I didn't personally feel at danger at the time. And unsurprisingly, when I was walking around this poor neighborhood in this sort of like ghetto area of the city, people were overwhelmingly nice to me. And most people wanted to chat. They're interested, and not once did I feel any animosity or even any danger for that matter. Would I roam around there in the nighttime? No, probably not. However, I still feel like there's a chance that I could be okay, but that's not the point. The point is that people are scared to go places because of stories that they hear, right? Like, also, people just aren't very good at statistics. For example, just before I arrived here in Peru, there was a train accident, which resulted in the death of one of the drivers, or whatever you call a train engineer, what have you. And of course that's sad. However, it could have been worse, obviously. Many more people could have died. But just because there's this one train accident now, right? So many people suddenly have this attitude of, well, can't ride trains in Peru. Like, never ride a train in Peru now, you'll die. It's just really not how it works. It's like the same idea, like, because one person got robbed, like, oh, one tourist got robbed in this one town in Mexico, so now nobody can go there anymore. Like, tourists, be warned, stay away, don't go there. And realistically, in most cases, the world is safer than it's ever been. And it's just that people are extremely sheltered now. Like, as I'm saying, a lot of the people that are so afraid of the outside world, it's like they've never left their house. So they've, I guess in a sense, they've never really had to put themselves in any sort of real danger. However, somebody could get them, something could get them, some sort of fluffy thing floating around here. Something could get them anytime. You know, you could stay inside your house and try to be as safe as possible. Something could just knock you off, you know. A freaking asteroid could hit your house and blow you up. Or most likely you'll die like everybody else, like of old age or heart disease or some genetic thing. It's like the great wise George Carlin once said, take a fucking chance. You know? Take a chance. Get out. Experience something. See the world for yourself. Take a risk. Or else you ain't gonna ever get anywhere. Playing it safe never brought anybody glory. Or even that much fun, for that matter. But that's exactly it, too. Like, go out and experience the world. The world is not this messed up place, in most cases, like you think it is. Nothing has changed, realistically, either. It's like it says in Ecclesiastes, from the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. The violence, the turmoil of this world has always been going on, and it's likely to never end. But that's not a reason to not go out, experience the world, live your best life, treat others how you want to be treated, and to also try to be a positive difference in the world, and to try to counter some of the violence and so on. That's the whole point of faith. You see, when you get in this mindset of, oh, the world is so evil, oh, everything is fragged, everything is going to hell, oh my God, like, you're letting the devil win. The devil wants you to think that this world isn't worth saving, that life isn't worth living. That is not the truth. That's the whole point of faith. It's this idea too, like the younger generation especially, most people, you know, from 25 to 35, like kind of prime age for having children, so to speak, they're not thinking about it, you know. And most people are saying things like, well, why would I want to bring a child into this world? Why? Exactly. But why would anybody want to bring a child into the world at any point? Like, there's nothing new under the sun. But also, in my opinion, the world is better now. Like, at this very moment, most people are lucky enough to be sort of in a place where there's a fair bit of peace, especially, of course, in the West. We're very lucky right now. But is it luck? No, maybe it's not. Because it also is triumph. You understand? The good can triumph over the evil. That's the point. And to that exact point, that's why you have a child. That's why Jesus was born. You have to believe that your child can make it. You have to believe that your child could even be the one to help make the world a better place. That's the faith aspect. So I understand. Without that, it does seem a little doom and gloom. Somehow you need to find that. You need to find that faith. And I think largely that's the problem. That's what our generation lacks. We look at things way too practically. Like, oh, it's too expensive to have a kid nowadays. Do you think that matters to most people? Most of the poorest countries have the highest birth rates. Because it's counterintuitive, because if you actually want to make it in a poor country, you have better chances of having more children. Hopefully, at least some of them will make it. And as harsh as that is, that's just the reality of nature. We have no advantage over the animals. You know, do you think that a fish goes, well, the water's so polluted these days, there's so much garbage in the ocean. I don't think I'm going to have kids. I think I'm just going to give up on being a fish, basically. I'm just going to screw it. I'm going to just try to selfishly enjoy the days that I have here. And then when I'm gone, that'll be the end of the time of the fish. No. The fish have, some of them, they have thousands of offspring. And sometimes only maybe 100 make it. And as bad as that is, that's the reality of this life, of this world. And that's the faith aspect. You don't think that the fish wants to believe that all of its offspring will make it. But of course it knows that maybe it won't. But that's not up to the fish either to selfishly watch over all of its children, to make sure each one of it is controlled very particularly and lives a certain way. No. This is like the great sacrifice of the mother. Like the story of Jesus. Mary has to willingly give her son to the evils of the world. But in doing so, saves all humanity. It's just the most potent example. Like, the world is really not such a bad place. And especially to this subject of having children. So many people are lacking purpose in a deeper sense. And they think, well, I can't have children because then I can't fulfill my life's destiny. They think like, I want to be able to live my life. How do you think that looks? How far do you think that will go to? For most people, there is nothing more fulfilling, more satisfying than having children. It's inarguable. It essentially is the purpose. And you're missing out on that because you're trying to fill that with superficial things. Like specifically for most people, their career. Guess what? Your career is not going to be there for you on your deathbed. Especially the people that you work with. They're not going to be there for you in the end. And the system itself, once you leave, once you've exhausted your usefulness, you're nothing anymore. Goodbye. It's over. That's the work of the devil. work of the devil, that you've been fooled into thinking that chasing material wealth or chasing worldly titles is going to be the most fulfilling thing that you can do. And if you have any sense, and if you talk to anybody who has any sense, you'll realize that that's just not true. And specifically, the world is not a better or worse place than it has ever been. It's always just been. You know, it gets me going too, all this existentialism. Like, people feeling upset because they feel like they lack a purpose. My personal sort of antidote to that is essentially to make up your own purpose. It's all meaningless. You see, in a way, it is just all meaningless. There's not really any point to any of everything that you can see. And whatever the reason is, it's beyond us. It's beyond our human conception of meaning. But this is the point. It's a beautiful thing. Because insofar as that there is no meaning, you were able to create your own. So do something great, do something fun, do something loving, caring, positive. Understand? Like, people are so desperately looking for a purpose, and yet most of the purpose that the world is willing to hand out, it's not worth taking. I think there's a lot of sort of ridiculous mentality of like, things were better in the old days. There were no good old days, okay? And the good old days, like last century, pretty much, give or take, I don't know, half the young men or so were injured or killed or traumatized in war. And, you know, sure, you could say they had a purpose. Oh, like, that's so great, but how the hell is that a positive thing? It's not even one bit. Those who live by the sword die by the sword. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more it's actually hard to say that things like World War II, for example, were black and white. Because it's not. Nothing is black and white in this world. It's really just not like that. Everything has already been approved by God as well. Like, everything that's happening isn't happening without the permission of God. So, what right do you have to come in here and for you to decide what's right and what's wrong, what's good, what's evil, what's meaningful, and what's not? You know, we glorify violence in our culture. And we glorify material gain. And we focus too much on the negatives. The world is not a bad place. It's always just been a place. So if you want to make it a better one, stop complaining. Stop being scared. Stop acting out of fear and violence. Instead, act out of love. And believing the best in people. Believing that most people are good, but knowing the capabilities of evil. Knowing what evil people can be capable of. That combined is not naivety. That's courage. If you just go around thinking everything is great and, oh, look at me, I'm just going to go to this dangerous country and nothing bad's going to happen because the world's just all, butterflies and rainbows. That's naivety, and that's not helpful. But the complete opposite is just as destructive and just as dangerous, to be thinking that everything is bad and everyone is out to get you. Go out, face the world, have some courage, and do your best to make it a better place. And do your best to be one of the people that shows to others that this world is worth saving. Go out, have a friggin' dance party. Oh. Well, that's the end of my coffee. Thanks for watching. Peace. Much love. Dallas Wayne signing off.